How much love and respect is in this room today. My goodness me. And welcome to each and every one of you. Today we're here to remember a beautiful woman with much love and respect. And on behalf of Steve, Lawrence, Adam, who is there, Adam, and all of Jackie's family, I wish to sincerely thank you for coming here today to participate in this gathering to honour Jackie's memory. We have live streaming today, and it's just so lucky that we have this modern technology that we can share this with so many people far and wide. And we thank all that are joining us today. We feel your love and we feel your presence, and I would like you to feel that you're as welcome as all of these people here in the chapel. A special mention is to Jackie's son Adam, who can't be here. And Adam, we are with you. Jackie's sisters Anne and Christine, who are in London, and from afar they have really participated in this service for Jackie, and we thank you both. Melanie and Samara, we're sorry that you couldn't make it over today, and all the family and friends in the UK and in Lebanon, and we thank you for joining us here. Friends, a funeral is not a day in your life. It's remembering a beautiful life in one day. So please, let's do Jackie proud. We come here with mixed emotions, both mourning the loss of Jackie and remembering the life that you have all shared with her. You have all come here to support each other as you pause to remember a very, very special woman in your life. So today is really a time of coming together to say your final goodbyes to Jackie and to remember what she meant to you personally. And I know that each of you have in some way played a part in Jackie's life. So this gathering here for Jackie is for her, but it's also for each of you and you at home as we gather together to share this time with each other. Death in a number of ways unites us all, and Jackie's death for a time demands that each one of us put aside our toil, our cares and our pleasures to unite ourselves with each one here who share in the common bond of love and friendship for Jackie. It is at a time like this that we stop the onrush of life. We pause for a little while and reflect. When we think about Jackie's life, there is so much to reflect upon. The way Jackie lived her life, being community-minded and spirited, kind and caring, loving, it is a clear message to each of us to live a fuller and more meaningful life of our own. And because you all loved and respected her, her passing causes us to get our own set of values into the true perspective. We know for certain that we never lose the people that we love even to death. Jackie's life leaves an indelible imprint in your hearts and in your memories, and we do find comfort in knowing that our lives have been enriched by sharing Jackie's life and her love. Jacqueline Clark was born on the 26th of March 1954 in the town of Lewisham in London. Her family was rounded off with 9 brothers and sisters. Jackie travelled by boat to Australia as a 10-pound pom in the early 80s. And Steve shared with me that Jackie hated every minute on the boat because she was seasick for the whole voyage. Jackie settled in the eastern suburbs of Sydney and secured work as a bus conductor, then following on to being a bus driver. And I'd say back in those days there weren't many lady bus drivers too. Jackie and Steve met in 1980 and they married in the Sydney Registrar's office in 1982. Their family grew with 2 sons, Lawrence and Adam. Jackie believed that parenthood was a great responsibility, and giving up her job, and she gave up her job to become a full-time parent. Jackie was very community spirited and minded, always looking for volunteer work, and found great satisfaction in helping others less fortunate. Friends, I asked Steve to describe Jackie to me, and his words were simple: kind, giving, forgiving, caring, respect, and all heart. Such little words that say so much. Friends, I know that you would all agree that Jackie has earned the love and the respect of not only her family, but all of those who surround her, and we know that Jackie will be very, very sadly missed. Friends, I know that you all have your own special memories of Jackie, and I'd like to invite Steve, and then Jackie's sister Leslie and son Lawrence.
I think before I say anything else, I want to thank everyone that's attended here today. It is absolutely overwhelming to see you all here, and those overseas as well joining us, and those that couldn't make it can join us online. Every day that goes by, I get more and more support from people like yourselves. I want to thank in particular the ladies from Squash, the Squishies, I think they call them. The drumming group from Drumbala, and other groups, I don't know all of them. And also from the photography groups and friends that used to go out and take photos with her, the photo community. I also want to thank my colleagues from Sydney Trains who have also reached out to me. I want to thank the people from my social golf groups, Roosters, the Circle and the Taxis. In general, members of Everglades have been overwhelmingly supportive of the whole family and reaching out to us. So thank you all. You have made every day a little bit less painful, and I appreciate it. As Sylvia mentioned, I met Jackie in Sydney and we hit it off straight away. Within 2 months we rented a flat in Bondi, and we were living together, and within a couple of years we got married and had kids, 2 wonderful children. Lawrence, who's with us here today, and unfortunately Adam is not here, but he's here in our hearts, and he is online watching right now for reasons that he couldn't get here. We started out life, Jackie wanted to be a full-time mum, and I went to work as many did in those days. One person working in the family was just about normal. Jackie started to volunteer her time in the early days with the school as a teacher's aide and helping out with the kids. And eventually she was started to go to people's homes and also volunteer to look after them by sharing a story with them, by taking them shopping. Those that couldn't go and do it themselves, she helped to do that and eventually got a job doing that sort of work. She even got to the point where she was taking the dogs for walks out of the pound at Gosford, just to give them a bit of relief from being in a cage. That's the kind of person that Jackie was. She was a kind-hearted person and looked after those that were a bit less fortunate than she was. During the pandemic, Jackie and I grew closer and closer together. It was heartbreaking for many, but we were fortunate enough to get closer and spend more time together. And that's memories that I will cherish for always. Even in the last few months, we got closer and closer. On the last day, the very last day, we spent the whole day together. We exercised in the morning together, we went out to lunch together, and we came back home and spent the afternoon together until the final moments. That day is a special day for many reasons, and it's a horrible day for many reasons. But it will be always my comfort that I was with her to the end. So at least I can have those memories. So
Rest in peace, my love. I will forever miss you. You will be in my heart every day, every moment, to the end of my days. Thank you, Dad. It took me a long time to build up the courage to write this. And as I sat up in the early hours of the morning, I realised that the people that knew or met Jackie would already know the vibrant, heartwarming, caring and selfless person she was, and I took comfort in knowing that her life spoke for itself. She gave herself to others in difficult times and often in the midst of her own difficulties. She inspired creativity, freedom, wanderlust and mental strength within me through her actions. One of my fondest memories was a trip to New Zealand that Mum had won after a race number was drawn from the City to Surf Run when I was 15. We enjoyed the South Island for around a week, and it included skiing. One morning we set to hit the slopes, and we aimlessly picked a ski lift and hopped on like the rookies we were. This lift went over ridge after ridge, through the clouds, and to the absolute top of the slopes. We wobbled off the lift nervously and realised we were surrounded by the sky, nothing above us and only snow below. We could only see one route down, a black diamond run. I was able to stand at the edge and look straight down it. It was incredible, but it was no place for us to. Mum was positive and confident, considering attempting it. That's when I took my skis off and stuck them in the snow and sat down in refusal. So Mum went and spoke with the chairlift operator, and a few minutes later we enjoyed the chairlift of shame all the way back down. I'll always be grateful for the lessons I've learned through my failures, but mostly thanks to Mum, the courage to try without the fear of failure, with the excitement of the adventure and going into things without any preconceptions or judgments and completely enjoying whatever may come of them. Jackie will live on in many ways specific to us all, but I'll be sure to pass on the courage, independency and open-mindedness to her granddaughter Samara. Thank you, Mum. I'm going to now read a poem from Adam, because he's not able to be with us. The memory of you will never subside. You are my mum, and that fills me with pride. You took my hand whenever I was in need. If you thought I was hungry, my mouth you would feed. You're a beautiful woman that lives deep in my heart, who held me close right from the start. You had always helped me and stood right by my side, the times when I laughed, the times when I cried. You'll be with me always, from young till I'm old. There's a special place inside me that you hold. I might not see you when you used to be there, but if I look hard enough, I can find you anywhere. You are my maker. We all know this much is true. There can be no doubt that I came from you. You liked to help people when they were in need, and I did the same and followed your lead. You'll always be with me, that I want you to know, joined to my soul with a neatly tied bow, woven around and pulled back through each other. You are and always will be my beautiful mother. By Adam. And now Leslie is going to come up, her sister from the UK.
Hello everyone. I'm heartbroken, but at the same time privileged to be able to be here to represent Jackie's 9 siblings. When our parents separated, Jackie was 14 years old, I was 9, and Lynn was only 8. Even though Jackie was so young herself, she somehow turned what was a confusing situation for us little ones into an adventure, reassuring us that everything would be okay. She was our big-hearted sister and took care of us. She was our guardian, holding our hands as we walked the many miles to school. She was our roommate and our best friend. I remember her taming a baby pigeon who she named Percy. For several months he religiously came to our bedroom windowsill and she hand fed him. He was a source of joy, until one day he didn't show up, and needless to say we were sad. But he returned a few days later with what appeared to be his lady friend. They stayed and strutted for a while, then flew off and never came back. Jackie told us that he came back to thank us and to let her know that someone else would be now caring for him. We never saw him again, but we were content. So, Steve, although a pigeon isn't quite as exotic as a kookaburra or a king parrot, she's been feeding the birds for a long, long time. She was our real-life Mary Poppins. We spent many hours listening to music together, learning the words and singing along. It was the era of Marvin Gaye, and I would sit and watch her while she played a bongo drum accompaniment to the tracks What's Going On and Mercy, Mercy Me. She was so good. She was fun and she loved to dance. On the 3rd of January this year, I sent Jackie a short sound recording of a song playing on the radio that had immediately transported me back to that bedroom in 1971. She replied with a laugh out loud emoji saying that she remembered too. It was a song by the Shy-Lights entitled Have You Seen Her? Little did I know that the lyrics to that song, especially the line, "Why oh why did you have to leave and go away?" would become so poignant only 5 days later. Jackie became my confidant in my adolescence, keeping my secrets and giving me girly advice. She was my chaperone when I started to become interested in boys and helped to mend the broken hearts that young love so often brings. She inspired me, working hard in order to follow her dreams. Jackie was always there for me. Caring qualities were part of her DNA. Our family, her friends, her pets, and many more besides, have been on the receiving end of those qualities. Her love was enduring and unconditional. She loved each and every one in our family, and we loved her back in equal measure. I know that Christine, Anne, Kathleen, Anthony, Sammy, Carol, Lynn and Stephen will all be watching and are here with us in spirit, wherever they are in this world or the next, and will be hurting as much as me. But we will all continue to love our darling sister through our own personal and shared memories. Night, night, Jack. Message from Sister Christine. Jackie. No words can adequately convey the sadness and sorrow we feel today. Our beloved, beautiful sister Jacqueline Chay has gone to live with angels and there to stay. Memories come flooding back of times together as children and adults with love and laughter. In London, Sydney, Sweden, Antigua, Jersey and Kent, we cherished her company wherever we went. For most of our lives, we were 10,000 miles apart, but we were close, and she was always dear to our hearts. So now let's celebrate her life here today. She was so talented and inspiring in so many ways. Her wonderful photography, her artistry, her love of nature and animals, a dedicated environmentalist, to name but a few, and a loving, caring family person who will be so missed by all of her family and friends. A beautiful flower, picked from the garden of life that will never fade. And a message from Anne. Our Jackie had a beautiful soul, kind and caring, with generosity of spirit and a winning smile. As a child growing up, she was a good kid, unassuming, mindful of her younger siblings and respectful of her parents. Little by little, she made her way through life whilst pursuing her personal goals in travel, career and family, but never losing sight of her loved ones overseas. She touched everyone who knew her, and with broken hearts we say goodbye to someone who can never be replaced, our Jackie, with deepest love. Rest in peace.
Don't know what to do with it. Thank you, Steve. Steve, Lawrence and Leslie. It's the most difficult thing is to speak about someone that you love And you certainly did Jackie proud today, and we thank you very, very much for your efforts. Thank you. Friends, I know that you all have your own special memories of Jackie, and we'll be sharing a snapshot of Jackie and her life. The music which is accompanying these memories is one of Jackie's favourite pieces. It's recorded especially for today by Jackie's sister Christine. And Christine, we thank you so much for doing this for us and being a part of our day. She was graceful enough to share it, and thank you so much. Well, what a kaleidoscope of memories. The one memory that I have of Jackie is that beautiful pink and purple in her hair. First time, oh sorry, I shouldn't talk about myself, but I'm taking my celebrant's cap off here. First time I met Jackie, she had this little piece in her hair and I thought, I really like you. Jackie was a special lady. She was always positive and happy, a hard worker, being community spirited and enjoying helping others. She was described to me by Steve as kind and giving, caring for all and forgiving. Jackie showed respect and was all heart. Friends, there's grief and hurt because you've lost this very, very special lady. Please remember that that pain is there because Jackie has touched your hearts, and for that you're privileged. Jackie loved and inspired people. She was a person who passed a part of herself to each of you, so therefore there's a part of her in all of you. And if there were more Jackies in this world, this earth would be so much a far, far better place. Friends, for all that are able, would you please stand for our farewell? Would you share with me in saying the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Friends, we've reached the time of our farewell for Jackie, and tenderly and lovingly we commit the body of Jacqueline Chay to nature's keeping. We give thanks for Jackie's life, and we remember with gratitude Jackie's deep love of family and of life itself. We're grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that Jackie's life has meant to each of us. We are glad that we saw Jackie smile and felt the love in her heart. We cherish the memory of Jackie's words, her deeds, and her character. We cherish Jackie's friendship, but most of all, her love. And Jackie's memory will remain in each of your hearts forever. Thank you. Please be seated. Friends, Steve has chosen a beautiful verse to share with you today, and it could be the words that Jackie would be saying to each of you, and it's titled A Letter from Heaven. To my dearest family, some things I'd like to say. First of all, to let you know that I've arrived okay. I'm writing this from heaven, where I dwell with God above, where there's no more tears or sadness. There's just eternal love. And please don't be unhappy just because I'm out of sight. Remember that I'm with you every morning, noon and night. And don't be afraid to cry, it does relieve the pain. Remember there's no flowers unless there is some rain. And to my many friends, trust that God knows what is best. I'm still not far away from you, I'm just beyond the crest. There are rocky times ahead of you and many hills to climb, but together we can do it, taking one day at a time. And when you're walking down the street and you've got me on your mind, I'm walking in your footsteps, only half a step behind. And when you feel that gentle breeze or the wind upon your face, that's me giving you a great big hug or just a soft embrace. And when it's time for you to go from that body to be free, remember, you're not going, you're coming here to me. Friends, I'd like to leave you with this quote from Helen Keller. She said, "The best and most beautiful things in this world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." And if by the end of Jackie's life she's ended up touching your hearts, well then you are a very, very lucky person indeed. I ask you please to allow a positive from today in honour of Jackie. Please live each day as if it's your last. And remember to tell the ones that are close to you that you love them, and please tell them often. Make one random act of kindness each day and make this world a far better place because of your love, respect and friendship for Jackie. I ask you please to leave our time here in the chapel with happy hearts and happy memories for Jackie, as we all know that she would not want you to leave here with sadness today, just joy in her memory.
This evening, or your face as you were leaving, but I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. Tomorrow, when I think of all my sorrow, when I had you there, but then I let you go. And now it's only fair that I should let you know what you should know. But living is without you. I can't live, I can't give anymore. Can't live, but living is without you. I can't give, I can't give anymore. Well, I can't forget this evening, or your face as you were leaving, but I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. That's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. No, I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrow. When I had you there, but then I let you go. And now it's only fair that I should let you know what you should know. but living is without you. I can't live, I can't give anymore. Can't live, but living is without you. I can't give anymore. Well, I can't forget this evening or your face as you were leaving, but I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always